How much do you remember about 2019? Now, it wasn't that long ago, but it's easy to forget. Let's face it, we never heard of COVID. Avengers Endgame was the biggest movie of the year, and everyone was jamming out to Old Town Road by Lil Nas X and Billy Ray Cyrus. It was also the year that Sony, or the A6600, was debuted. Well, 4 years ago isn't that long in the big grand scheme of things, but it is an eternity from a technological standpoint. In other words, Sony really desperately needed to update the A6600, and now they have. Now today we're going to have a quick look at that camera, the A6700, and explore some of the other interesting photography news along the way as well. So let's get to it. Now we have a couple items to discuss from Canon this week. First, Canon patented two new lenses, both of which are ultra-wide angle lenses. One patent is for the RF 9-18, now this is a f4, and the other is for the RF 18, or I'm sorry, 10-18 f4. Now if these lenses end up being made, which, let's be real here,
there's no guarantee on the
that they will be easily become the widest zoom lenses in the RF lens family. Now currently the widest RFS lens or zoom lens is the 18-45, and that's a 4.5 to 6.3 IS. Now the widest RF zoom lens is the 14-35, and again that is an f4L. Now you may recall a few months back I actually did a review on that. It's a pretty slick lens. Now needless to say, landscape photographers like me would really appreciate these wide options, but personally, I think Canon has done a great job of continually filling out the RF lens lineup over the years. Now, as I've mentioned over and over again, the Canon's RF lens lineup is one of the reasons why I moved from Nikon over to Canon a few years ago. Now, another Canon news, a new rumor suggests that the R1 will have a pretty impressive EVF that will be 0.7-inch OLED display with at least 7 million dots of resolution and a 60 to 240 hertz refresh rate. Now, for comparison's sake, the US R3 EVF is 0.5-inch OLED with 5.76 million dots of resolution. Now, moreover, the EVF is expected to be blackout free and have a variable refresh rate as well. Details about the specific R1 features have been pretty scarce so far, so this is actually pretty big news if it is actually true. But as we all know, rumors are rumors, so the specs could be wildly off base. Now, of course, I'm going to keep reporting on these rumors as they pour over or as we get closer to the actual R1's expected release date, which is 2024, so stay tuned on that. Now, we've discussed the Z8 many times in the past Photography Talk episodes, and deservedly so. Based on user reviews, it's a pretty fantastic camera. Plus, it's really proven to be a huge success for Nikon. But now we're getting hard data about just how good the Z8 is, particularly the sensor. Now, DxO put the Z8 sensor through rigorous testing and found that it is among the best sensors that they've ever tested. Not really a big surprise. Now, the chart shows that the Z8 sensors score 98. This is pretty damn close to the top of the heap with a score of 98 out of 102. Now, the Z9 got the same score, in case you're wondering. Now, its portrait color depth is especially impressive with a score of 26.3, and as you can see, the highest score in this category is 26.5, so yeah, this thing is pretty rockin'. Dynamic range for landscape photos isn't too shabby either. The Z8 scores 14.2, which is just shy of the top score of 14.8. And really though, the shortcoming for the DxO testing is the low light ISO performance, which scored 2548 out of 4505. Now, despite that, the Z8 sensors demonstrate superb performance. This is even more evident when you compare it to other highly rated sensors. So for example, in a head-to-head comparison with my R5 here, the Z8 got an overall score of 98 versus the R5 comes in at 95. Now compare this to the Panasonic S1R. The Z8 falls short of the SR1's overall score of 100. Now the Z8's 98 sensor score beat the Canon R3, which scored a 96, and it's oh so close to the Sony A7R5 score of 100. So The point is, the proof is in the pudding with the Z8. Not only has it been a huge success from a sales standpoint from Nikon, but it's proven to be a highly capable camera as well. But that's what I expected, considering this is a baby Z9, right? Well, folks, the wait is over. The Sony A6700 is finally here. 4 years after its predecessor, the A6600 debuted, and all indications are that it was worth the wait. Now, the A6700 steps up the game in every conceivable way. It has an all-new 26 megapixel back-illuminated exmor CMOS sensor, and it is sure to outperform the A6600 24.2 megapixel sensor, which, incidentally, is not back-illuminated. Now, the camera also features a new Nikon XR image processor with a dedicated AI processor unit that enhances autofocus performance and enhances image processing. So you may recall, this processor was the first announced last year in the A7R5. Now, other features include native ISO range from 100 to 102,400, 14 stops of dynamic range for video recording, and up to 11 frames per second burst shooting with the mechanical or electronic shutter. Now, that speed is achieved with the full AF/AE tracking as well. Pretty damn cool. Now, shifting gears over to the video side, the A6700 offers some pretty impressive video specs as well. So you can shoot 4K video with full pixel readout or oversampled 6K. It also supports 422 10-bit video, 4K recording at 120p, and supports S-Cinetone and S-Log3 profile. Now, another interesting feature to note is that the A6700 has what is called auto framing, which automatically repositions, centers, and crops the frame so the subject stays in prominent position. Now, if you think about it, the Sony ZV-E1 also has this feature. In other words, it seems like Sony has used the last 4 years to really think about what they could incorporate into this camera to give it enhanced usability for photographers and videographers alike. So it really seems like a fantastic hybrid camera for enthusiasts that offers some really professional grade features as well. Again, they did a good job on this. Now, pre-ordering is underway as we speak, so you can actually pick up the body by itself for $1,400, while a kit with a 16 to 50 millimeter lens is going to be $1,500, or you can step it up a little bit with another kit that has the 18 to 135 lens for $1,800. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description below if you want to be one of the first to pick up one of these. And friends, that is officially it. So until next time, you get out there and take your best shot.